2 years ago, if you'd asked anyone who knew me if I'd changed, they would have said no. Same job, same apartment, same friend group, same daily routine. But something fundamental had shifted. I felt different, more capable, more present, more in control. I had more energy, better focus, deeper relationships, clearer thinking. My life was objectively better in almost every measurable way. But the change had been so gradual, so subtle, so silent that nobody around me noticed it happening. Not my family, not my friends, not my coworkers. Even I didn't fully realize what was happening until I looked back and compared who I was then to who I'd become. The transformation didn't come from any dramatic life change. I didn't move to a new city, didn't get a new job, didn't have some breakthrough moment or crisis that forced change. The transformation came from 30 small habits, tiny behaviors I implemented one by one over the course of 18 months. Each habit took less than 5 minutes. Each one seemed almost insignificant on its own, but together, compounded over time, they completely rewired how I think, feel, and operate in the world. This is what nobody tells you about real transformation. It's not dramatic, it's not visible. It doesn't happen in explosive bursts that everyone applauds. Real transformation is silent. It happens in 5-minute increments. It happens when you're alone. It happens in choices so small that they seem like they don't matter. But they do matter. They matter more than almost anything else, because small choices repeated daily become your life. James Clear in Atomic Habits uses a powerful analogy. If you get 1% better every day for a year, you'll end up 37 times better than when you started. If you get 1% worse every day for a year, you'll decline nearly to zero. The trajectory of your life is determined by small daily choices that compound over time. Most people dramatically overestimate what they can accomplish in a day and drastically underestimate what they can accomplish in a year with consistent small actions. I'm going to share with you the 30 specific habits that transformed my life. These aren't revolutionary. You won't read any of these and think, that's the secret. Most of them will seem almost stupidly simple, but that's exactly the point. Transformation doesn't come from complex systems or dramatic changes. It comes from simple things done consistently. I implemented these habits slowly, 1 or 2 at a time, over 18 months. By the end of that period, I was a completely different person, operating at a completely different level. And nobody noticed until suddenly they did. Suddenly, people started asking, what's different about you? You seem different. What changed? And I'd smile because I knew exactly what changed. 30 small habits that nobody saw me doing. Habit 1. I started making my bed every single morning within 5 minutes of waking up. This took 30 seconds. But it created a sense of order and accomplishment that started every day with a small win. Admiral William McRaven gave an entire commencement speech about this habit. Make your bed. Start your day with a task completed. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never do the big things right. Habit 2. I stopped looking at my phone for the first hour after waking. I used to grab my phone before my feet hit the floor. Email, messages, news, social media. I was letting other people's priorities hijack my morning. Now my first hour is mine. I wake up, make my bed, shower, eat breakfast, plan my day. By the time I check my phone, I'm already grounded in my own intentions instead of reacting to everyone else's. Habit 3. I started drinking a full glass of water immediately upon waking. My body is dehydrated after 8 hours of sleep. Hydration affects everything. Energy, mood, cognitive function. This 30-second habit made my mornings sharper and my energy more consistent throughout the day. Habit 4. I write 3 things I'm grateful for every morning. 3 sentences. Takes 90 seconds. This simple practice rewired my brain's default negativity bias. Instead of waking up thinking about problems and stress, I trained my mind to notice what's good. After 6 months of this, I noticed I was generally happier and less anxious without any other changes. Habit 5. I started planning my day the night before. 5 minutes before bed, I write down the 3 most important tasks for tomorrow. Not a long list, just 3 things. This way, I wake up with clarity instead of confusion. I'm not deciding what to do, I already decided. I'm just executing. Habit 6. I read for 20 minutes every morning. Not news, not social media, not work emails. Books, real books with substance. Fiction, philosophy, science, biography. This habit did more for my thinking and creativity than any course or seminar I've ever taken. Reading expands your mind in ways that consuming bite-sized content never can. Habit 7. I take a 10-minute walk outside every day with no phone, no headphones, nothing. Just walking and thinking. This became my most productive time. I solve problems on these walks. I get ideas. I process emotions. I return to work with more clarity than any amount of sitting and thinking could provide. Habit 8. I started saying no to things by default instead of yes. I used to say yes to everything, every invitation, every request, every opportunity. I was overcommitted and overwhelmed constantly. Then I flipped the script. My default became no. I only say yes to things that genuinely align with my priorities. This created space in my life for what actually matters. My calendar went from chaotic to intentional. These first 8 habits took a combined total of maybe 45 minutes per day, less than 1 hour, but they set up my entire day for success. They created mental clarity, physical energy, emotional stability, and intentional focus. Before these habits, I was reactive, scattered, and constantly behind. After these habits, I was proactive, focused, and in control. And nobody noticed because these were all private behaviors. Nobody sees you making your bed or reading in the morning or planning your day at night, but you feel the effects in everything you do. Habit 9. I started tracking my time in 30-minute blocks. Every evening, I'd review where my time actually went that day. This practice was shocking at first. I thought I was working 8 hours a day. Turns out I was working maybe 4 hours with the rest lost to distraction and context switching. Tracking made me aware. Awareness made me intentional. Within 2 months, my productive hours had doubled without working longer. Habit 10. I implemented a 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, I do it immediately. Reply to that email. Put away those dishes. File that document. This prevents tiny tasks from accumulating into overwhelming backlogs. My mental load decreased dramatically because I wasn't carrying dozens of small, unfinished tasks in my head. Habit 11. I started putting everything back in its designated place immediately after using it. Keys on the hook, wallet in the drawer, dishes in the dishwasher. This seems trivial, but the effect was huge. I stopped losing things. I stopped wasting mental energy trying to remember where I put something. My environment stayed organized without any dedicated cleaning time. Habit 12. I deleted all social media apps from my phone. Not deactivated the accounts, just removed the apps. If I want to check social media, I have to do it on my computer. This tiny friction was enough to break the compulsive checking habit. My phone time dropped from 4 hours daily to under 1 hour. That's 3 hours reclaimed every single day. Habit 13. I started going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, including weekends. My body craves routine. When my sleep schedule was erratic, my energy was erratic. When I made it consistent, everything improved. Better sleep, better mood, better focus, better workouts. Consistency is the foundation. Habit 14. I implemented a Friday review ritual. Every Friday afternoon, 30 minutes reviewing the week. What went well? What didn't? What do I want to do differently next week? This practice created a feedback loop. I wasn't just living life on autopilot, I was actively learning and adjusting. Habit 15. I started eating the same healthy breakfast every single day. Oatmeal, fruit, nuts. Every morning, same thing. This eliminated decision fatigue and ensured I started every day with good nutrition. Plus, my body adapted. My digestion improved. My energy stabilized. Consistency in nutrition creates consistency in energy. Habit 16. I began doing 5 minutes of stretching before bed. Not a full yoga session, just 5 minutes of basic stretches. This signaled to my body that it's time to wind down. My sleep quality improved noticeably. I'd wake up with less stiffness and more energy. Habit 17. I stopped eating after 7 p.m. I used to snack all evening. This habit improved my sleep dramatically. My body wasn't trying to digest food while trying to sleep. I'd wake up actually hungry for breakfast instead of bloated from the night before. These habits from 9 to 17 were all about systems and structure, creating routines that eliminated decision fatigue and created consistency. Before these habits, every day was different. I was constantly making decisions about basic things: when to sleep, what to eat, how to organize my space. All that decision-making was exhausting. After implementing these systems, those decisions were made once and then automated. My brain was free to focus on things that actually mattered. Habit 18. I started writing down one lesson learned every evening. Just one thing I learned that day. Business insight, personal observation, something someone said, doesn't matter. This practice made me attentive. I was living life looking for lessons instead of just passing through. Habit 19. I implemented a phone-free hour every evening. From 8 to 9 p.m., no phone. I'd read, talk with people, cook, think, whatever. Just no phone. This hour became sacred. It was when I'd have my best conversations, my clearest thoughts, my most creative ideas. Habit 20. I started practicing 1 minute of deep breathing whenever I felt stressed. Instead of reacting to stress, I'd pause, take 60 seconds, breathe deeply. This tiny practice gave me a tool to regulate my nervous system. I went from being constantly activated to being mostly calm. Habit 21. I began complimenting one person genuinely every day. Not generic compliments, specific, genuine observations. This habit improved my relationships more than any communication course ever could. People remember how you make them feel. Habit 22. I started listening to podcasts or audiobooks during commute instead of music. My commute became learning time. 2 hours daily, 5 days a week. That's 10 hours of learning every week. After a year, I'd consumed hundreds of hours of education just by changing what I listened to during time I was already spending. Habit 23. I implemented Sunday meal prep. 2 hours on Sunday preparing meals for the week. This habit saved enormous time and decision fatigue during the week. I was eating healthier because the healthy food was already prepared and easy. Habit 24. I started taking cold showers. 30 seconds of cold water at the end of every shower. This was uncomfortable every single time, but it trained my nervous system that I could do uncomfortable things. This practice made me more resilient to discomfort in all areas of life. Habit 25. I began writing down wins every evening. 3 things I did well that day. Not big accomplishments, small things. Had a good conversation, finished a task, helped someone. This practice trained me to notice progress instead of only seeing what I hadn't done. Habit 26. I started putting my phone in another room when working. Not on my desk face down, in another room. This eliminated the temptation entirely. My focus depth increased dramatically. Habit 27. I implemented a 30-minute learning block every day. 30 minutes dedicated to learning something specific. A language, a skill, a subject. Consistent daily practice compounds. After a year, you've put in over 180 hours into that skill. Habit 28. I began asking better questions. Instead of how was your day, I'd ask what was the best part of your day. Instead of did you like that, I'd ask what specifically did you like about it. Better questions create better conversations and deeper relationships. Habit 29. I started ending every workday by writing tomorrow's top 3 priorities. 5 minutes, 3 tasks. This way, I'd start every morning with clarity instead of confusion about what to do first. Habit 30. I implemented a monthly review. 1 hour at the end of every month reviewing goals, habits, progress. What's working? What's not? What needs to change? This kept me on track and prevented months of drifting. These are the 30 habits. None revolutionary, none dramatic, none impressive when described. But compounded over 18 months, they completely transformed my life. I have more energy because of my morning routine and consistent sleep. I have more focus because I removed distractions and created structured work time. I have better relationships because I'm present and ask better questions. I'm learning and growing because I dedicated time to it every single day. I'm healthier because I meal prep and stopped eating late. I'm calmer because I practice stress regulation. I'm more productive because I plan my days and track my time. The transformation was silent. It happened in 5-minute increments that nobody saw. I didn't post about it on social media. I didn't tell people what I was doing. I just quietly implemented small habits and watched them compound. After 6 months, I felt different but couldn't articulate why. After 12 months, people started noticing something had changed but couldn't identify what. After 18 months, the change was undeniable. I was operating at a completely different level. This is how real transformation works. Not through dramatic changes that everyone sees and applauds. Through tiny habits that nobody notices until suddenly the cumulative effect is impossible to ignore. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. You need to identify 1 or 2 small habits that align with who you want to become and start doing them consistently. Stack another habit after a few weeks, then another. Give it 18 months. The person you'll become will amaze you. Start tomorrow. Pick 1 habit from this list. Implement it for 30 days. Then add another. Small habits done consistently create extraordinary results. Your transformation begins the moment you make the first tiny choice that nobody sees.